Hey Paul, congrats on the win. That felt like a weird game. I don't know what it was like for you guys on the field, but the whole thing seemed to flip on the penalty kick. What was it like as you kind of lived through it?
Yeah, I think obviously first half we were pretty poor. I don't think anyone will be shy to say that. But there was definitely a response in the second half, and yeah, definitely the momentum kind of shifted, um, especially after the penalty kick, and I think we kind of wore them down. To be honest with you, we were able to continue to pressing. Some of us got our second wins, and we also got some subs coming in that have made a huge difference over the past couple games. So, yeah, I mean, it was an interesting game. It was a very tough game. But again, happy that we were able to come out as winners.
Ryan Tolmich.
Hey, Paul, obviously, look, Giassi comes in and gets the winner, and everyone always kind of talks up how good of a guy it is, like Giassi is to have around, on the field, off the field, everything like that. As a guy who's played with him a bunch, just having him, what does he give to this team? Obviously, the goals and stuff like that, and then how nice is it to see him get that moment after contributing so much and coming off the bench and really earning it?
Yeah, I've known Giassi for a long time, really, since even before I was a professional, and he really is. You hit the nail on the head, saying that he's a great guy on and off the field. He's a team player, and he works his tail off. Which I think is amazing. And not only that, I think he's a great footballer as well. I think he doesn't get enough credit, but I'm glad that he continues to show his worth. Being a part of the national team, obviously, with the crew, he's been unbelievable over the years. So, yeah, super excited for him. I know, he's going to continue to work, and also I thought he has made a great impact over the past couple of games.
Larry Henry.
Hey, Paul, congrats on the win. One guy I wanted to ask your opinion on is Miles Robinson. He's continued to really kind of come into his own in this tournament. Obviously, has been, obviously a top center back in MLS, and you've been able to go up against him in camp here and also in MLS. So overall, what are your thoughts on him this tournament? And, how high do you think his ceiling is as a professional? Because he's still fairly young. Thank you.
Yeah, Miles has been unbelievable. He's one of the ones that has surprised me the most being in camp with him. I've been in camp with him a couple times, I believe, prior, but this camp he's really come in and shown that he can be a true leader on this team by his performances and the way that he's able to maintain the back line, his physicality, his speed, his distribution. He's been huge for us in this tournament. And we always say we need guys to show up, especially in these knockout games. And he's one of those ones that has continued to be amazing throughout the tournament.
Thanks so much. Congrats, Matt. I guess the first question, I wonder if you could just talk me through that reaction save on the ball that got lofted in, where he kind of spun and hit it, and you were able to get your hand on it, as well as the deflection from James. And then on the second side, I just wonder from a team perspective, the expectations around this team were kind of mixed. On one hand, it was like, oh, this is the B team, all the top stars are still in Europe. On the other hand, if the US doesn't reach the final, it's probably not considered a success. How has this team kind of thought of itself in this tournament and the expectations around it? Thank you.
Yeah, first I'll talk about the save. Yeah, the ball took a deflection, so my momentum was kind of going to my left, and it popped up, and I didn't think that I was going to be able to get there, so I hung on my line and just thought to myself, go ahead and try to beat me from there, and I was able to get a hand on it and push it around the post. So it was a good save and a big moment for our team. And then in regards to your second point, yeah, what other people say doesn't really matter. I think for us, as U.S. soccer, the expectation is pretty clear. When you're playing in CONCACAF tournaments, you get to the final, you compete for trophies, you compete for championships. Doesn't really matter who's on the field, whether it's not like an us versus them thing. It's a one player pool that's together, and everybody has the same expectation when they step onto the field.
Jeffrey Carlisle.
Thank you. Matt, I was wondering if you could walk me through some of the conversations in the run up to the penalty. It seemed like there was a crowd of guys around the penalty spot. Kellen was in there. I mean, what kinds of discussions were going on? What were you hearing? I mean, what happened there?
Yeah, it was. Listen, I don't think that the words that had been said will be good for a press conference, but you know, it's normal back and forth. It was a big moment, obviously, in an international tournament. Tensions were high, emotions were running high, and for me, you know, I just tried to let the guy know that I knew. You know, I've been watching his penalties. I think even beforehand, I kind of like I mimicked his run up as I was heading back to my goal, to try to just mess with him a little bit. Wait as long as possible in the middle because I knew that he chipped down the middle, you know, earlier in this tournament, and see what happens from there. Moment, and it was a big moment for us, and we were able to, you know, take that momentum forward for the last, you know, 30 minutes of the game and get the goal.
As far as the second half goes, Qatar's a team that has shown in the tournament that they could tire a bit, they could fatigue a bit, and it looked like you guys when the subs came in, it almost looked like you could smell blood in the water a little bit, like you had that feeling we could get all over them. Was there that sense coming in that you knew you had a team that was tiring and that you could jump all over them?
Yeah, so like you said, you know, Qatar is a team that they play in hot temperatures, and today it was hot out there. It was, I believe, it was like a little less than 91 during the kickoff. But like you said, you know, our starters, they did an amazing job at wearing Qatar out, wearing their defenders out by making runs beyond the back line. And sure enough, when the subs were able to come in, we're able to try to make a difference, you know, and be more energized. But you know, I looked over at a couple of their defenders, and you know, I saw them huffing and puffing after I ran the channel once. So I was like, you know what, that's going to motivate me to keep running and working hard, just so we can bury this game and not go into overtime.
Jeffrey Carzai.
Hey, Giassi, how hard has it been to kind of take on this subs role in the tournament? I mean, it seems like there's always the next forward kind of coming in, the next big deal, and yet you still keep delivering, you still keep, you know, getting the goals. You know, what's it like to go through that?
Yeah, you know, one thing I never do, I never question the coach's decision. You know, they're the ones that, you know, they do months of research on teams and game models and methodologies of how we like to play. And if they have me starting or on the bench, that's their decision. You know, I'm going to do whatever I can to try to make a difference. And if it's preparing the starting group to start the match, I'm going to do the best I can to prepare them. So, you know, I have full faith in the coaching staff, and I'm just going to keep being the best player I can be.
We'll finalize with Paul Tenorio.
Hey, Jossie, congrats.
Thank you.
I'm going to follow up on that one a little bit. I just wonder, when you score a goal like this, when you do come up in the big moments, in the last game, came into the game and changed the game as well, do you feel like you're making your case to be the starter, you know, not just on Sunday in the final, but when World Cup qualifying comes around in September?
Yeah, I mean, my answer for the other answer is very similar. You know, every day in training, I'm giving my all. Every time I step on the field, I'm giving my all. I'm doing the best I can do, and trying to just get better each and every single game. And at the end of the day, the decision is up with the coaching staff. You know, they have a plan, and so far the plan's been working. But you know, if my name is called to start or come off the bench, I have to make sure I'm mentally prepared and physically prepared, and that's what I've been doing. Because when you play in a tournament, you have to be ready when your name is called. You know, there's so many different factors. So I'm just going to make sure I'm prepared if my name is called.